Welcome back to Rich Words Music, where today we're looking at this. It's the NUX Horseman Overdrive Pedal, and those of you who know your overdrives will have heard the name Horseman. You'll have seen this half-horse, half-man, guitar-wielding beast on the front of the pedal, and you'll have clocked it straight away. Yes, this is NUX's take on the mythical, legendary Klon Centaur overdrive pedal. Now, pretty much every guitarist is familiar with the Klon Centaur, and many, many famous guitarists use it. Players like Joe Bonamassa love them, players like John Mayer have sworn by them, and they now fetch up to $5,000 on the used market for original versions of the pedal. $5,000. Now, the NUX is on the other end of the price value for money spectrum. This is about 15 euros new, or about $70, so it's very affordable indeed. I should also say, by the way, that NUX sent this pedal to me, so I didn't even have to buy it myself. I don't know if I get to keep the pedal. I'm not being told what to say for this video, but they did send it to me, just so you guys know. So what does the Horseman do then? Well, it offers us two distinct overdrive Klon circuits. You've got a gold and a silver version, which replicate two of the original Klon Centaur versions. Now, it's a small pedal, much smaller than the original Klon, so fits on a pedal board very well, and we've not got too much in terms of controls here. We've got an output volume control, we've got a gain control here, and we've got a treble tone control here. Now, this foot switch here looks like a very standard foot switch, but it does a couple of special, unique things to this pedal. Namely, you use it to switch between the two modes. So gold mode is kind of the more classic clean boost, transparent overdrive sound, and that comes on when you switch on the pedal. Hold the switch down for a second or two, and this little silver light here will flash up in a green color, and that will tell you that you've engaged the silver mode, which NUX tells us gives us more headroom, more gain, and more harmonics. So we'll find out whether that actually does what it says on the tin in the playing part of this video. Now, there's another option that you have with this pedal as well. Apparently you can switch between true bypass and buffered bypass modes, and you do that by pulling out the power supply for the pedal, holding down the foot switch, and then powering it on, and it should tell you whether you're in true bypass or buffered bypass modes. So that's a very simple pedal indeed, but it gives you very many options, and if it does everything that the Klon Centaur can do, everything from a thickened pushed clean through to a raucous crunch and a very heavy overdrive, and if it pushes a dirty amp too, this will be a very good pedal indeed. So what we're going to do now is play it. We're going to use my Hughes & Kettner Black Spirit 200 amp, and for the majority of the time we'll stay on the clean channel. At the end I'll turn the crunch channel of the amp on, so we'll hear how this pedal can push a dirty amp. And I'm going to use my Fender Telecaster, my Fender Stratocaster, and my Epiphone Les Paul, so we've got a different selection of single coil and humbucker sounds to hear this pedal. At the very end I'll do a couple of loops, one for each of the guitars, and we'll really twist the knobs to their extremes to hear what the Horseman could really do in all modes, and that's what's gonna go down today. So this is the NUX Horseman pedal. We're gonna play it now, and we'll speak in more detail about it afterwards. Okay then, so that was the NUX Horseman Overdrive Pedal, and I hope you enjoyed the tones. I'd love it if you actually left me a quick comment just telling me which of the three guitars you thought sounded best with the Horseman. Did you like the raucous bridge single coil pickup of the Tele best? Did you prefer the slightly more mellow Strat? Or did you think that the Epiphone Les Paul humbuckers with their higher outputs and extra aggression sounded best with the Horseman? Let me know in the comments. I always like to hear what you guys think, and you often have quite different opinions, so let's get a little discussion going, and I look forward to chatting with you down there. But anyway, the NUX Horseman. I'm really impressed with this pedal. It's small, it's cheap, but it feels very well built, and I think that it's very versatile indeed, and it gave me a range of really usable tones on all three guitars for all different styles of music, and I hope you agree with that after having heard all the tones in the playing part of the video. Now, I thought all three guitars sounded fantastic. They all had their good parts and their perhaps not so good parts. There were tones that excelled on one which didn't on the others, but with the Horseman, despite just having the three knobs, you can really tweak it to make it sound great. And of course, the Klon Centaur is a legendary pedal for giving that cliched transparent overdrive boost, but there's a reason that so many players love it, and I think that the Horseman has definitely got some of that DNA in it, because it really does start from all the way down on nothing on the gain control with a fat clean push and just takes it from there, and for me pretty much everything sounded fantastic. So the Telecaster for me was probably my favorite of the three guitars. I mean, that Tele is my #1 guitar anyway, and all the way from the go I thought it sounded fantastic. For the sort of pushed clean stuff, it really thickened up the clean tone of the Tele, which sometimes edges towards the brittle, so it gave me more body to the sound. It just sounded fatter and thicker and very nice indeed. Once we went up to indie and kind of classic rock stuff, I had the gain almost halfway up, and it retained a load of articulation. It sounded fat and chunky and was just really pleasant to the ear. It's a different kind of overdrive to kind of an amp overdrive, but it sounds very nice indeed, and I was a big fan of that with the Tele. When we pushed the gain up even more for hard rock, it retained that really nice tone. Now, it started to get a sort of almost graininess to it in the top end, which is something I personally don't use that much, but it actually works really well for those genres, so that's good. And it even did a little bit of almost chug on the metal settings, so full marks for the Tele. I couldn't really find a tone that I didn't like too much with that. The Stratocaster was a little bit different. It's a lower output guitar, so it wasn't being pushed as much, it wasn't pushing the amp as much either, and I had to turn the gain control up considerably more to achieve similar sorts of tones with the Strat, but that's what you would expect anyway. And the Horseman really delivered with that guitar as well. Again, for the push cleans, it really thickened up those Strat single coils, which is something I quite like to do, all the way up to classic rock and even hard rock as well. It really performed excellently. Now, when we got to the Epiphone Les Paul, you could hear straight away, even with the gain down to 0, we were not getting a clean boost. We were in low gain overdrive already. And when we were up at about 9, 10 o'clock, we were already in pretty raunchy classic rock mode. As I turned the gain up to about 2 or 3 o'clock, we were already in very hard rock mode, and this pedal even chugs with those Les Paul humbuckers. So if you've got this single Horseman pedal, you can go all the way from just a little clean boost on a single coil neck pickup all the way through to pretty much metal and definitely alternative and hard rock with just this one pedal, and it costs 50 euros or $70, so that's very, very cool indeed. I thought all the tones were passable, they all sounded great. I wouldn't have a problem using any of them on a recording or playing live with them, no problem whatsoever. Now, when it came to the two modes of the pedal, gold and silver, I probably prefer the gold. I use the silver mostly for the more aggressive styles of music. You can watch out to see that light going on and off in the playing part of the video if you didn't notice that. But I just thought that NUX says that the silver mode gives you more headroom, it gives you more aggression, more gain, and it gives you more harmonics. I noticed that to an extent. I don't think I really heard the harmonics much, but I definitely heard more aggression and more gain. But it also seemed to give me a bit more top end that I didn't like so much. It was a sort of aggression which I personally don't really favor. So I think I would probably be using the gold mode for most of the time, but it's so simple to switch between the two just by holding down the switch that if you've got this as a single overdrive on your board or as part of a 2 or 3 overdrive pedal team, which is always a good way to go, then you've got so many options with this pedal. So full marks for the ways it sounded, full marks for that performance. Now, one thing that I wasn't too sure about was switching between true bypass and buffered bypass modes. Many people like the original Klon Centaurs very much indeed when they're not even switched on, because they give you a bit of a buffered bypass tonal boost, or at least that's what many people seem to think. And the Horseman theoretically offers true bypass and buffered bypass modes. Now, it came in true bypass modes, and what you're supposed to do to change it is take out the 9-volt power supply and switch it back on with the foot switch switched down. I've tried doing that numerous times, I tried everything, but I couldn't seem to get it to change to buffered bypass mode, so we were in true bypass the whole time. That's personally my favorite way to use pedals anyway, but it would have been nice had I got the buffered bypass mode to work. But there you go, possibly a problem you won't have if you're more intelligent than me. I do just want to commend the Horseman for its build quality and its ruggedness, its roadworthiness. Now, I've had 2 other NUX pedals on the channel recently, which NUX also sent me. So I did the Plexi Crunch, which is a high gain Marshall in a box style pedal, and I did the Steel Singer, which is a Dumble in a box style pedal. You can see the videos for those 2 pedals elsewhere on my channel if you like. They both sound fantastic, they both do what they say on the tin very well indeed, but I was a little bit worried about the build quality of those 2. They feel like they have plastic pots and knobs, they feel a little bit wobbly even as the pedals are brand new, and I just got the feeling that maybe they're not going to hold up to life on the road. No such problems with the Horseman. I could imagine this could be on a pedal board for years and years and years, could be stamped up and down on multiple times per night and not have any problems with it whatsoever. Like I said, the one thing that I could imagine could go wrong is the switching thing between the gold and the silver modes, but who knows? That's something that I might come back to in a few years just to tell you that I've used it for that long and it did carry on working or it didn't. But that's maybe for a video in 2023 or 2024. So overall then, the NUX Horseman is an absolutely excellent overdrive pedal. I'm really, really impressed with it. I shall be adding it to my board, no question, because it gives me so many different options. And as well as the 3 different bunches of riffs that we had those different loops too, where you really heard the extremes. Now, a lot of those extremes are places I wouldn't go with the pedal, but it can do even more than what I've showed you in these clips. So if you're kind of thinking, well, I'm not really sure if it's going to be worth it for me, just go back and listen to those loops and you can really hear some more extremes of what this pedal can do. If you're looking for something to just push your amp a little bit, if you're looking for a classic rock tone, if you're looking for a pushed indie tone, if you want to do some alt rock, if you even want to push your dirty amp into more saturation and do hard rock and even metal, you can do it with the Horseman. I consider that this pedal continues the Centaur's name of being one of the best drive pedals around. It really does have some kind of a special mythical magic to it. It's the NUX Horseman pedal by NUX. Go and check it out if you can. They're available, I think, in many stores. Very cheap price as well, so I don't think you can really go wrong with it. But that's been it for today. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music. If you're still around, please subscribe to the channel because I've got a lot more plans for similar videos for the future. Plenty more pedal-based videos, lots of affordable guitar videos on my channel too, lots more amp stuff to come, and interesting conversations and chats with people from the music industry. But that's been it for today. I've been Rich for Rich Words Music, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.